Get in, nerds, we're playing Victoria 3. We are gearing up for our war with Egypt, and that means we're trying to save up some cash in order to make sure that when we go to war with Egypt, we've got enough money to actually fight a war with Egypt. That is currently scheduled for as soon as the truce ends, which is 7 months from now, and we'll see how things go with that. So for the moment, we're just trying to kind of be chill, get our interest payments down is really the primary thing. We're also allowing the investment pool to drain, so let's see what the private sector is building. They're building some artillery foundries, some tea plantations, some more wheat farms. Those are reasonable things to be building. Again, I wish we were on... we got a lot of things to do here. I wish we were on agrarianism instead of traditionalism. We are going to be able to move to that. Medina wants to unite Italy. We've currently got good relations with all of the primary unification candidates. Hey, we're in adoption. Wonderful. We're amicable with the two Sicilies. We're cordial with Sardinia-Piedmont. Let's go ahead and improve relations with Sardinia-Piedmont. Get them up a little higher. We're maxed out with all the major European powers. I could have a defensive pact with Austria, except for Russia. Not maxed out with Russia yet, but it's a process. So once dedicated police force gets done, we're gonna need to make a choice because I do want to have an agrarian economy, but I also want to have. But while I've got the rural folk in government here, I think moving to agrarian economy is going to be good. But I also want to have professional armed force because I got myself all the way. I teched myself fast up to skirmish infantry, and now I can't use them. I hadn't reckoned on that. I think skirmish infantry used to be possible without switching off of peasant levies, but I could be wrong. I thought it was only conscript battalions that were affected by that before, but that might have been an update with the new patch. Does look like we're doing a little bit better financially, which is nice. Fishing wharves getting built in Basra and arts academies in Macedonia. That is very good. I don't think it's technically Macedonia. I think it might be Macedonia in the original, but I would be lying if I said I spoke the language, so it is what it is. We've also mostly eaten through our credit at this point, but I am going to build up a little bit of a reserve, and we're going to continue to not... Well, we could maybe afford to start building again pretty soon. Our finances are quite good, and I'm not sure exactly why. On the other hand, we are going to... Yes. Alright, we're nearly there. It's going to take another 106 days, so it's not going to get... I think it's still going to get done before the war, though. Because the war's scheduled for mid-December. I am going to have to increase military wages, and we're going to spend a lot on mobilization goods once this war kicks off, though. So I'm probably going to continue to not build during the war, and then we'll see how things go from there. In preparation for that, though, now that we've pretty much gotten through our credit, I'm going to go ahead and boost military wages up to Midland. And I think that will help some of these armies build up the manpower they need in order to function, particularly this one, Constantinia Ordoso. Because this army is really low on manpower, and I'm not sure why. I wonder if Eastern Thrace's population is mostly... Well, no, they're mostly Sunni. Because I know there's that thing about non-Muslims serving in the armed forces, and I think because we have state religion, that's still being affected. State religion, yeah, under church and state here. I don't know to what extent that's implemented in game. It might just be a flat reduction in manpower. I know that it's a flat reduction in manpower in Crusader Kings 2. And that's the end of our truce. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Sardinia-Piedmont wants an alliance. No thank you. Not right now. Cool. I'm not going to force a diplomatic play. I don't think we get a truce if I just do the demand. Cool. A diplomatic play is occurring. So, let's add some war goals. We're going to do Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt, and Middle Egypt. And I don't have enough maneuvers to add them to the primary goals. But we can still get Great Britain on our side here. And let's go ahead and mobilize the armies. So, we got some armies building up. We got a small army. So I bet this army is just all the units that were kind of in the territories that we took earlier. This army is below its command limit, so let's grab your aligning with the armed forces in an open terrain commander. Let's put you, Daoud Orzal, in command over here. So army's at, oh, it's only at 25% organization. Do a promotion. The armed forces demand the promotion of Major General Kemal Kenjik, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals, adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Pasha's face when the lieutenant general learned of his imminent ascension. The rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. I'm going to say he's earned it. This guy is pretty good. Yeah, he's brave, he's defensive strategist, he's good. He's earned it. Particularly because I want to keep the armed forces happy right now. I currently am keeping the armed forces pretty happy, but we want to stay there. Alright, time for maneuvers. Great Britain is no longer interested, but that's okay. Come on, give me dedicated police forces. Russia sides with Egypt. Russia abandoned Egypt. Wonderful. Perfect. I could not have planned it better myself. There's dedicated police forces. So now while we've got the rural folk in power, let's go ahead and move to agrarianism. This is not going to affect the armed forces. The local governors are going to be a little mad, and that's okay with me. So that's going to be a whole process. Egypt has not mobilized its forces yet. Our armies are still working on getting mobilized. Let's put the 5th Ottoman Army on this secondary front here. We'll get them going. I'm going to have this army move to the sea node. This navy, rather. Hassa Ordusu, this army is mobilized. Let's put them on the western front as well. And then we'll have our 2 main armies on the eastern front here, which is going to be the main front. So that's Rumeli Ordusu and Anadolu Ordusu, which I assume means the army of Anatolia. Cool. And we can see these armies moving on the map here. So they should be getting there. That should be very good for us. We're still increasing in gold reserves, but not by much. So we're going to keep the situation going as it is right now. We don't have British help this time around, but I think it'll be fine. Because they only have irregular and line infantry. And we've got advance on the main front. I'm going to go ahead and designate Lower Egypt as our strategic objective. Lower Egypt is Egypt's capital, which means they will not have war support protection as long as we are holding it. And with this kind of advantage on the main front, we should be able to hold it without a problem. So let's see. You're going to plan a naval invasion. You're deployed to a sea node. I don't see any other orders here right now, so I think this fleet is just doing its thing. So that's what we want. War's about to pop off. War has popped off. 2 Mars. Happily, Russia did not get involved. That makes me very pleased. And the first battle appears to be going our way, which is also making me very pleased. So let's go ahead and increase the speed here. I feel pretty confident in our capacity to win this thing. Tripolitania's got its army here. So I'm going to watch our manpower with these armies right now. Cool. Oh my goodness, we just took all of Sinai. Wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. And we're already in a battle for Lower Egypt. Hey, there's mass communication. Oh, that's brilliant. That actually gives us... So, mass communication is one of those techs in the society block that gives us extra authority. It's kind of the only thing it does. That's actually the only thing it does. And that's going to allow us to pass a new consumption tax. Oh, nothing we can really put consumption taxes on that's that great. Shame. Let's do tea, maybe? No, let's leave it alone. Nice to have a little bit of extra consumption taxes. That'll speed up our law enactment. Excuse me, why are we only at 7%? I thought it was going to be 22%. Maybe it's 22% total? Yeah, 22% when you combine success and advance. We appear to be losing this battle. No, we appear to be winning. Wonderful. We've only got... This is an odd comparison, but we're chasing them and they're retreating. So, I don't know, man. These 30 guys have really done a lot of work. Desperate allies. The proposal for agrarianism has sat in a deadlock. The rural folk have advocated for enlisting Daoud Orzal's assistance and rallying the intelligentsia in favor of the government. There, upon the cusp of a division, everyone sees that nobody has a majority yet. One by one it dawns on them. The loose cannons, led by the most rabid dog of the bench, have the votes they need. But who among them would be the first to climb off their ivory tower to win their favor? Make overtures to the undecided. This gives us 20% enactment chance and strengthens the intelligentsia by 15%. Seems right. Slander the opposition into oblivion. This makes Mustafa Rashid Pasha, the head of the intelligentsia, weaker. And makes the intelligentsia weaker. I don't want that. Forge ahead. Without them, we can win. This makes the rural folk much stronger, but gives us reduced enactment chance. I'm going for the first one. That's all benefits. 20% enactment chance is exactly what we need. So now that we've got a hold of... No, we don't have a hold of Lower Egypt yet. Oh boy, and we've bitten off more than we can chew over here. But over here, we're winning. Success. Gotten a hold of part of Lower Egypt, and we're continuing to press forward, so I think we'll be experiencing success in the war place very soon. We've got a winning ratio here. There's a lot of battles happening. And I can hear the Nile. I think that's the Nile flowing that you're hearing there. So we are losing war support at 1.86 per week. They are losing it at 5.39. Neither the capital nor the following war goals. Okay, so we still need to get fully a hold of the capital, but I think we're going to be able to do that pretty soon, given that their armies seem completely goofed. They keep winning a battle here against my army with only 6 battalions. I don't know about that. I've got 2 armies over here on this front. Or no, this is the other front. This is the front where I've got 2 armies. The 5th Ottoman Army and the Hassa Ordusu. So I'm going to grab the 5th Army and put them into Huh? I don't know what's going on with that. I think once we're back at peace, I'm going to turn those. Okay, now we've got Lower Egypt occupied, so now they should lose war support protection. Perfect. They have lost war support protection. So, let's key in all of these war goals. And once they're below 0 war support, we'll be able to win there. So here's intensive agriculture completed. That has unlocked the explosives. The munitions plant is something I already had. Explosives factory. This costs sulfur and fertilizer. Does my market have any fertilizer in it? No. Okay. So that's 2 different types of buildings I need to build. So, fertilizer plants, we'll put those in Aydin. Then explosives factories, we'll put that in Aydin as well. I think I also put the munitions ones. Oh no, they're in Konya. Well, they're close by. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue these upward. And then these. And then those will get built as soon as things are good to go. As soon as the war's done. We need 56 more. So we're going to need to pummel them into submission here. But we've got a completely unopposed advance, it appears, over here. So I think we're going to be successfully occupying Dongola pretty quickly. And that will be the end of the war. And then once we hit 51, might be the end of 51, and this Tanzimat completes, we'll have the Tanzimat completed. Where are you going, the Jaish al-Misr? Where are you going, the army of Egypt? And why aren't you on a boat? I feel like you should be on a boat. Army of Egypt, where are you going? Where are you going, son? We're going on an adventure. This is very paradox. This is very paradox. If this were Europa Universalis, they would just wander through neutral territory. But instead, they're going a place. Oh my gosh, they're going around the Horn of Africa. I think that's what's happening. I think they're trying to get to this front down here by going around the Horn of Africa. Oh my goodness, that's really funny. That's very good. Extremely classy. Give me my territories. Alright, and that is Reclaim Egypt. We have desperate allies again. Sure, well, I'll happily make the intelligentsia even stronger and increase enactment chance. Heck yes. Alright, that's very good. Let's go ahead and get these places incorporated. We are doing much less good financially, but that's because I think we've got government buildings running in these locations. First of all, let's standardize production methods. We've got government buildings and we've got construction sectors. So let's unpause construction and see how much it hurts. It hurts bad, friends. It hurts bad, but after a little while, it's going to be better. So I think we're just going to complete our industrial expansion here in preparation for switching over to professional army, and then getting those paper mills going, and then I think we'll be good to go. We do have a lot of construction capacity now at this point. And we've got to move into preserve traditionalism. Well, that's unhappy, but we managed to get good events. We got 20% enactment chance from each of those events. I think those events are kind of funny ones because they ended up being beneficial for us when I don't think they're supposed to be. Because I don't think they're supposed to necessarily target the interest group that's in government for growing stronger. But I was happy with it, so, you know, that got me what I needed to make this happen. So we've gotten 3 out of 4 Tanzimat's journal entries completed, and then once suppressed separatism is done, we'll be good to go, and that should happen at the, I think at the end of 51 that'll pop, but it might pop as soon as we get done with this, with 50. So we'll take the episode to the end of 51, and that'll be the end of the stuff. So as you can see, we're currently back in debt, since we're continuing to do manufacturing. All of the, wow, we had quite a few construction sectors. I'm going to reduce these construction sectors. I think this is just too much. Too much construction all at once. We don't have the capacity to sustain that kind of economic growth. We do have something of an economic growth engine, but not that kind of an economic growth engine. How has this affected our market? It has made tools more expensive, it's made wood more expensive, and it's made coal more expensive. A lot of things that our government needs in order to be a government that governs. So that's difficult, but things are still doing pretty well. We're still doing okay for grain. And we got the Desperate Allies event again. This feels like a bug. But, yeah, we'll keep doing it. And there's suppressed separatism. So, that should be the segment of Europe completed. But while we're waiting on that, peasants resist land registration. With the possibility of increased taxation and military service looming large, peasants from eastern Thrace have refused to register their land, depriving us of much-needed tax revenue. For 200 years, my family has worked this land, paying our dues as we have according to tradition. But now the pashas of Constantinople have devised yet another insidious system for bleeding us dry, and my sons will be called on to perish on some distant battlefield. Let the local sheiks purchase their land, the tax must flow. This gives us reduced taxation in eastern Thrace, radicalizes peasants, reduces conscriptable battalions, and makes the local governors a little happier. Kemal Kenjik and his men will quell this unrest. This makes the penalties smaller, but makes more radical pops. Or leave them be, who cares about Eastern Thrace? Ooh, that's really bad. We'll do the first one, because Eastern Thrace is our capital, because our capital is Constantinople. So we'll do the second one, we'll quell the unrest. The lowest penalties possible, because I suspect that having reduced conscriptable battalions and agricultural tax income will be a real problem. Tanzimat, the reorganization. The Ottoman Empire has successfully modernized and reasserted itself on the world stage. A new era begins for the Ottoman state. Sublime, that was the only word for it. To walk the streets of Istanbul and see modern factories and schools, to see the guards practicing their military drill. A landscape once dominated by peasant farmers is now littered with shining cities. And to think that only a few decades ago the empire was on the brink of collapse, where once the European powers looked on us with pity and greedily sought to partition our lands, now we see their diplomats gazing in awe at our accomplishments, forced to recognize us as equals. God is good. The army could use some additional reforms. This gives us big military bonuses, or we should, and we can increase military research speed. Or we should reconquer the Balkans. This gives us claims on Attica, Peloponnese, Crete, northern Serbia, southern Transylvania, and northern Transylvania. I'm actually quite happy with having these countries as protectorates for now. So I'm going to go with the stronger military stuff. And that will allow us to continue to improve our military situation. Let's get going here. Do we have infamy? We do have quite a bit of infamy still. So I'm going to continue to let that go off for the moment. We seem to have a shortage of influence now, probably due to the landowners being kind of salty about the move to an agrarian economy. I'm going to stop improving relations with Persia right now, and that'll help us deal with that. We are actually now a world power. We are number 4th in the overall rankings, although we're pretty low overall. We're above the United States, which seems to have... Excuse me? What flag is this? USA, what's going on with you? Oh, right. USA has become a presidential dictatorship. That's Bananas. Levi Marmaduke. They've become an autocracy. Interesting. They've also finished colonizing a bunch of territories, but Mexico seems to have gotten the better of them. Mexico's continuing to be strong. It does appear that our finances are doing a little better. I think the private sector's using some of the investment pool right now, so I think that's why. But that does mean that we're building the government buildings slower. Still, not necessarily a problem. And there's the Atmo pump engine. That's actually wonderful, because... Oh, but it's too important. That's going to make those much more productive. We'll do the same with the lead mines. And what this will do... It's going to cost us coal and tools. But I think this will allow us to get a few more of our construction sectors over to iron frame without causing a problem. Because of the really dramatic increase in the amount of iron we're putting out. Where's iron? Iron's here. Iron is still a little short, although I did just increase the amounts of construction sectors using it. Let's put these back on wooden, and let's do 1 into iron frame instead of 2. And that should sort us out. Yeah, let's put us about in the middle from a cost perspective. And that'll mean that increasing our iron mines is going to be much more effective at overall improving our situation. We do have fertilizer in our market now. We need 210 of it in order to get where we need to go. But, at least in the capital, we can start using it. And I think the explosives factories will be doing just fine, because I don't think they need to use that much of it. Hey, we're in consideration. So hopefully the 66% enactment chance will be able to just kind of sprint towards the completion of this law. Getting that event to make our governing interest group stronger while at the same time increasing enactment chance by a lot was really, really good. I'm really pleased we've gotten that. And I'm hoping that that means we can get to agrarianism with a minimum of problems, and then we'll be able to switch over to potentially a professional army, and that'll make me really, really pleased. Local governors are still a little bit salty, and they're going to continue to be salty about this particular change, but I think we can tolerate them being mad once we're switching over to what's that do to fertilizer? Fertilizer's doing just fine. Although not a lot of explosives are being produced right now because we don't have any munitions plants. We've got government admin that's nearly done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue this up to the top. So this was under construction by the previous regime in... this is probably going to be Lower Egypt. Yeah. How much taxation capacity do we have here in Lower Egypt? Yeah, we're short, so building this is going to be fine. Our finances are going to improve. Oh, you know what probably this is? Our finances probably got better because we hit the 1 year mark on incorporating these territories, and that means they started to generate tax revenue. Whoops, missed one. This is the kind of professionalism you've learned to come to expect from GenCat Gaming. We've got actually quite a bit of bureaucracy left over, so I'm going to add 1 level to law enforcement investment, and I'm hoping that's going to make things a lot more straightforward. In terms of infamy, we're still at 8.1. That's not decaying as fast as I would like it to. How are our prospects looking for a consumption tax? We could put a consumption tax on opium. That would be quite effective. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Ooh, and now we have diplomatic ties with Switzerland. I almost said Sweden. That would have been not great. I think that's a very common error for Americans to make. That's the impression I get. So I'll finish out this government admin. We'll put these finish these munitions plants, and then we'll. Hey, now we're in adoption. Wonderful. So that should get done pretty soon. hopefully in the next pass, which will be in 140 days. That's very slow. Interesting. Um, so once these buildings are completed, we're gonna put a halt to construction once again, and that's gonna allow us to get out of debt. We're currently paying 2K a week in interest, and that's not actually that much. But you know me, I do not want to be paying interest because interest is really rough on your economy. Let's put the paper mills up here. Again, we do want to have munitions plants running pretty much as soon as we can, as soon as we're able to get these armies up to where we want to be. So we've got a couple of armies that need to be merged. So I think 6th and 5th can get together. So 6th Ottoman Army. We're going to transfer military units from another army. Okay. To 5th Ottoman Army. So how do I move these units? So if I do this, they'll transfer to the Constantine Ordusu. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do the same with 5th Ottoman Army. First I'm going to grab you. And I'm going to... Oh, here's where the orders thing is. Alright, interesting. I know there's a way to... Let's... Yeah, okay, so this will move them to Hassa Ordusu, and that's okay with me. So let's do it. So that means all those battalions should be here, and then that means this army should have some irregular infantry. We're going to upgrade those as fast as we can. And Hassa Ordusu still has line infantry. Alright, perfect. That's going to be all for this episode, friends. We've completed the Tanzimat, and that means that we can once again turn our gaze outward. I'm going to pause the construction queue, and I'm going to let this week get to the end so that I can see how it makes our finances look. Cool. This is a very good number. I'm very pleased with this number. Alright, so we'll pick this up next time. We'll continue our expansion of government and education. Once our debt is back down to a manageable number. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.